A $1 payout is enough to change your trading forever. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but give me just 8 minutes and I will prove it. See, for a long time, every transaction connected to trading moved in the same direction, away from me. I had learned more, changed something in the strategy. So the money leaving my account never felt completely wasted. It felt like an investment into the trader I was eventually going to become. At least that is what I kept telling myself. But after enough time, even a small payment starts carrying more weight because it is no longer just the price of another account. It reminds you of every account that came before it. You look at how much time has passed, how much money has already gone into this, and you still have nothing you can point at and say, this came back from trading. I could explain what I had learned, maybe show someone a profitable backtest, but none of that changed what was happening in real life. My normal income was still paying for trading. Trading was not paying me. And eventually, that creates a question that is difficult to admit. Am I actually getting closer, or have I just become better at finding reasons to continue? The previous strategy was too complicated. The risk was wrong. Meanwhile, the people around you keep seeing the same thing. More time on the charts, more money going in. Some of them stop asking about it. Others tell you directly that this is probably not going to work. And after enough failures, you cannot even be angry at them because from the outside, they have more evidence than you do. That was one of the hardest parts for me. I knew the trader placing those later trades was completely different from the one who started. But your bank account does not show the difference between somebody who is one step away and somebody who will keep trying for another 5 years. Both are still paying in. Both are still waiting. So you continue because stopping now would make everything before it feel pointless. But continuing means giving more time and money to something that has never given you anything back. Until the first payout, that is the entire relationship. Trading takes, and you keep trusting that eventually something will move in the other direction. Then eventually, something comes back. Maybe it's not a huge payout, maybe it is barely enough to buy anything. For the first time, you're finally no longer paying for another attempt. You're looking at a withdrawal that came from trading. And that dollar had to make it through the entire process. You had to find something worth trading and execute it well enough for the money to reach your account. Before that, I remember looking at smaller payouts for other traders and thinking, this is nothing. Why would anybody even be excited about that? But once it's yours, you understand. You refresh the page, check the transaction again, and somehow that tiny number feels much heavier than it should. Because when you look at the first payout, you remember what came before it. The accounts that disappeared before you ever reached a withdrawal. The times you seriously considered stopping. People around you only see the amount, and objectively, they are right. But they did not sit with you after another account was gone. So the number carries more than its financial value. Way more. It carries the period where your normal income kept funding every attempt. It carries all the progress you could feel, but could never point to inside your actual life. A larger payout later might pay you rent or change your month, but by then, receiving money from trading is already part of your reality. The first one arrives while the entire journey still feels uncertain. You remember exactly what it felt like when every attempt ended in the same place. You remember how ridiculous the goal had started to look like from the outside. And now, for the first time, you have something real sitting in front of you. So when that first payout arrives, you're not really looking at $1. You're looking at the first thing trading ever gave back. But look, honestly, the first payout does not remove every doubt. The next losing period can still frustrate you. But before that payout, every setback could reopen the biggest question of the entire journey. What if this never works for me? Because no matter how much you had learned, you still had nothing to show for it in reality. You had seen other traders withdraw money. Those were still the results. When your own account went into drawdown, you could always tell yourself they were different. Maybe they had more capital. Maybe they understood something you never would. After enough failures, that possibility starts sitting in the back of your head. Then your own account completes the process once. And the question changes. Before it was, can this ever happen for me? Now it becomes, how do I make it happen again? That is a completely different problem. You're no longer trying to prove that the process can reach a withdrawal. You have watched it happen through your own decisions. So when the next attempt fails, you have something real to compare it with. What happened during the run that paid you that disappeared when the account went back into drawdown? The first payout gives you a reference point. And once you have that, $10,000 or $20,000 starts looking very different. Before my first payout, I imagined that somebody making 20k a month had to trade in a completely different way. I assumed they were seeing something on the chart that I could not see yet. Some advanced setup, some level of market understanding that would take me another 5 years to reach. I pictured the trader sitting at his desk for hours finding opportunities that were invisible to everyone else. Because when you are struggling to withdraw anything, 20k does not feel like a larger version of what you are doing. It feels like a different profession. But when you actually look at how that money can be produced, the trade itself might be almost identical to yours. The same entry, the same stop loss. 3% on a 100k account is 3k. The same 3% with 600k account is 18k. The percentage just had more capital sitting behind it. And that is when 10 or 20k stops feeling like a number from other universe. The number sounds huge when you only look at the payout. But when you trace it back to the charts, it can come from the same boring setup you already know how to take. Financially, the first payout may not change almost anything, but it changes the size of the future inside your head. Because once money is traveled from the market into your real life, a larger payout stops looking like a different profession. It starts looking like the same process with more capital behind it. That is why a $1 payout is enough.